go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walk the bridge and we built it. Two hoes got the boy on kill clip. My team good and we rollin'. It ain't really hard to see that I'm fresher. I'm a F5 with Brock Lesnar. We ain't got time to listen. Yo, lecture. Let him put the title up and I get your bitch. Ask me, we ain't never made up. When the times got rough, we ain't never gave up. Boy, you next to the one like Morpheus. So the NLO can't fuck with us. That's real talk in this purple rain. Know some real dudes that'll bring the pain. Stay fresh, rock shades like Johnny K. So they got a bad bitch, don't on your blade. You ain't put in work, we can ask your girl.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Rocket boobs. Boom. Yes, what's going on, everybody? It is 4 o'clock in the morning here in Deutschland, Germany, for those of you who don't sprechen. And we're doing some things big. Yes, it is week 1 of the NFL, the official kickoff tonight. The New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, and that's going on, and that's great. But I got news for you. What's bigger than that? It's Dead on Dave going live for Thursday Night SmackDown review, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna take your calls. We're gonna do our thing here. Now, I know I'm not going up against the NFL on Sundays. I'm not an idiot, but one game, especially one that's not uber competitive at this point, I'll take my chances. And those of you who want to watch know where to come, and you come here because you like what you see, and that's completely fine. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna have a good old time. Take your calls, get into SmackDown, break it down. But first and foremost, I want to give a quick shout out to a rare middle of our non-live donation, which it doesn't happen very often. Usually donations only come when we're live. But Lucky James 35 donated $2, and he left a wonderful little message that I want to give a quick shout out to. So this is what Lucky James 35 wrote. He said, "Hello Dave, how are you? I want to let you know that I'm a very big fan of yours. I watch you each and every week, both you and Joe Cronin. I was wondering if you could send me a shout out. My name is Lucky James. Take care and keep up the good work." How could I not respond to a wonderful message like that? So shout out given, Lucky James 35. Thank you very much for your support and the very, very kind words. Now, donations are on, so if you donate throughout the entirety of this show, your message will pop up, music will hit, blah, 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 and I'll go ahead and I'll say something, whatever you guys write there, I don't care. And if you ask a question in that, I will definitely hit that first and foremost. All right, so let's get into it. Usually, you know me by now. I do my thing, and I go through my copious amounts of notes I start at the beginning. However, that ending, that main event tonight is what we're going to start with because it's awesome. It was a really good main event. I felt overall SmackDown had some highs and lows. I still thought it was overall a very good show. We're going to talk about some questionable things, but we're also going to talk about a lot of good, including the main event. This is what I want to start with. The lumberjack match between the Intercontinental Champion Ryback and, of course, the champion, the all other singles champion, Seth Rollins. I thought it was a really good... All right, that's a real good way to get yourself banned, Dr. Phil, asshole. Block user. You don't talk about raping anybody's daughter, you sick fuck. So we're going to ignore that and get right back in to what we were doing. And that's the main event, man. The main event tonight, which was incredible in a lot of ways. Now, look, the match itself was decent. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was a lot of the action that happened with the Lumberjacks that was really, really good, is what I enjoyed. The most notable thing is all the craziness, all the insanity that was going on. One man stood still the entire match, and that was Kevin Owens. Just another reason to absolutely love and just want to see everything that Kevin Owens does. The whole world is tumbling around him, and Kevin Owens doesn't move, and it's hysterical. It looks like a Kevin Owens troll job. But then he's so still. He's so still and he's non-committing to anything that you kind of forget that wait, he's starting a feud with Ryback. So when Ryback gets the upper hand at the end of the match, they do a really good job of not having Kevin Owens in frame. Ryback's about to hit Shell Shock, and then you just see him drop him. It's because Kevin Owens finally gets involved and holds the feet of Ryback, which allows Seth Rollins to hit the pedigree to win the match. Now, Seth Rollins gets to look strong, holds up his titles, everything is good in the hood there. Now, however, the bigger story here for me is Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens. Now, this is the first physicality that they had, and it was awesome. First physicality that they had in this feud, and I think this is what's going to ignite this feud between Ryback and Kevin Owens. And man, I am super excited to see it. It's gonna be great. That is really gonna be great. So I'm very much excited about that. And it was hysterical. It was just his troll job of not doing anything to him actually going on and beating the crap, or not, I'm sorry, distracting. Distraction. That's funny. Distracting Mr. Ryback. Perry Joe donated $3. Dead on man boob Dave. Great review, my guy. Keep it up. I don't even mind the man boob. I do got man boobs. Thank you very much for the donation. Very, very much, Perry Joe. Thank you very, very much. $3. Can't beat that. Yep, I robot for it. There you go. Let's get into SmackDown a little bit more in depth, because we talked about the main event, which I really did enjoy. It was a lot of fun. Let's talk about the beginning of it, which I got to admit, I missed some of the beginning because I wasn't planning on doing this. Usually, because it's so late here in Germany, it's hard for me because I got to basically say fuck tonight and fuck tomorrow to be able to do this. What I've been doing is I've been watching the Australian feed of SmackDown, taking my notes, going to sleep, and waking up 10 minutes before this and coming on. Well, for some reason, I couldn't find the goddamn Australian feed, so I couldn't take notes, and I was in so much friggin' pain, I wasn't doing the show. I was able to finally get some sleep, some pain management. I got some sleep, woke up about 2:15 in the morning, which is about 15 minutes after SmackDown started, and decided, hey, let's watch it and fucking do the show. So we decided that's exactly what we did, and I'm really glad that I decided to do that because it was actually a very enjoyable SmackDown. Caught up on what I missed. Jimmy Uso, first thing you notice, he is not on the desk anymore because he is going to be in a match with the Wyatt family. Yes, Jimmy Uso is going to team with Ambrose and Reigns. Now, I thought this was an interesting choice, but it's a good choice because, you know, the family angle and all that stuff. But not only that, it's cool because Jimmy Uso's done a really good job on commentary at times. He's also had some weak Uso moments, but overall, he's done a really good job. So to see him back in the ring was really cool, and that was a nice touch. We knew it was going to happen, though, because Jimmy is not the big enough name to be that third guy for that team. So this was not going to be the main guy. We figured what was going to happen, and it ultimately did. So you had to start there, and that was cool. And then Booker T is back on broadcast, which I have to say, he was pretty damn good most of the night. I like this new team. Rich Brennan seems to be able to balance the other personalities better than Cole or Phillips. At least these two personalities, being King and Book. I don't know if that's the team that they should ultimately go with. I hate continuing to shit on Lawler, but he is the weak link of the three, and he is the most distracting with his incoherent stories. Yeah, look, you say what you want about JBL's incoherent stories, and they are incoherent, and his stupid references from the 1940s, you know, they're somewhat entertaining sometimes. There's still something about JBL that, I don't know, I like him. And it's not that I don't like King anymore. It's just he just sounds like a rambling old man now. It's so annoying. And God forbid there be a John Cena moment, because he is going to actually get down on his knees and blow Cena. That will happen. He just starts blah, 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 you know, really going at that cock, and it's terrible. So you have all that going on, and you just kind of just tune them out. So I don't know if this is the crew that you want to have long term, but we'll figure all that out over time, I think. So you have all that starting out the show, which I thought was a good beginning because it added a little bit of extra intrigue, which is cool because you want to see storylines being built. So and SmackDown having storylines like that with Jimmy Uso coming back from behind the desk to go back into the ring, the Dean Ambrose, all this stuff with the Wyatts. It feels like it's not just a follow-up, but an actual continuation. And SmackDown is starting to gather an identity, and I thought that was really cool. Seeing different matchups on SmackDown, finally. Cesaro and The Miz, which is something that we've seen a little bit last week, but having a better match this week with Cesaro getting a definitive victory over The Miz with the sharpshooter in a pretty damn good match. The questions are going to continue to be asked whether or not Cesaro is actually hurt or not. I don't know if his ribs are legitimately hurt because of the fact that there's so many. They emphasize it so much. Usually, when you're wearing the tape and you're getting all these rib shots and these body shots, usually you're not actually hurt. So I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, but it's really not hindering his performance, if at all. So pretty fun stuff. I thought it was a good opening match, a lot of good back and forth there. So then we get a little backstage segment with Reigns and Ambrose and all that. And we know they're going to take on the New Day. They're not taking on the Wyatts, which is kind of cool because we get to see a team forming to take on the hottest thing in the company, and that is New Day. Before we get further into the notes, let's take a call. Let's take a call from long-time viewer, Dr. Bostonian. I'm surprised you're calling. Don't you have Patriots fever, Dr. Bostonian? What the hell?
Dude, I'm calling briefly to say we are kicking Pittsburgh's ass.
Yeah, big shocker there.
And I wanted to tell you a fun fact that Richard Rodgers, I don't know, do you know who Richard Rodgers is?
Well, the name sounds familiar.
He's a tight end on the Green Bay Packers. He's like their starting tight end.
That's why I don't care. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he's from my school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from my high school. From my high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And the New Day is the best thing in the WWE.
They are. They really are. It's so much fun to see what they're doing. It's a great. So yeah, it's a blast here. I agree. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I'm reading some of the shit that's going on in the chat. We got a disgusting human being in the chat there. So, what else you got, Dr. Boston? I'm sure you're gonna get back to your cheaters. Patriots.
Yeah, you guys can call us cheaters because we're just going to win the Super Bowl again.
The funny thing is, I don't even give a shit. I have no feelings, good or bad, towards the Patriots. The only real interaction I have with New England as a Bear fan is when we absolutely monkey stomped you guys in the Super Bowl. So that's all. I don't give a shit. I think the whole thing was ridiculous and overblown, like most things are in the NFL anyway. So it's stupid. But, good luck to the Patriots. I hope they have a decent year.
I think they're going to have more than a decent year, to be honest.
Well, based off what they're doing to Pittsburgh. But, to be fair, Pittsburgh just lost.
Sucks.
Yes, they do. And their defense is different than it's been in over a decade. So, I don't know.
Dallas, the stretch when we play Buffalo will be a solid test for sure. I
don't really care. This isn't a football show. You want to talk football? Call Sunday. Call Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing a football show. Call in then. I don't give a shit now because I don't know if you saw the title, but this is SmackDown review. I let you derail a little bit, but now you're getting greedy. If you want, you can go ahead and donate to the channel and put a little message, and then you can say whatever the hell you want. That's it.
I'm poor, bro, dude. I don't have money to donate.
Then don't donate. Don't donate if you're poor, because I'm poor, so don't donate. Well, go watch your Patriots and enjoy your evening.
You too.
Thanks, Dr. Bostoni. I appreciate the call. What a good guy. Calling in, doing his things. It's good stuff. It's a good time. Marco Brazulia in the chat. What's his Skype? You did call me, but you hung up before I had a chance to answer. But I'll add you so you know that it's me. So I'm going to add you, Marco, So you can go ahead and call back in if you have something to say. And it's all gootin' in the hootin'. All right, so let's get back to it. So Cesaro wins this match, and we get a little bit of a situation with the Uso and the New Day and all that, which is great. Look, everything the New Day is doing right now is fantastic. If you have not seen other things that the New Day is doing outside of just what you're seeing on Raw and SmackDown, I highly recommend you check out a lot of the videos that they're doing. WWE is going on this new challenge called Just Keep Dancing, where Natalya and R-Truth started doing this, where they just keep dancing to raise awareness for pediatric cancer. And they challenged the New Day to keep dancing. And in New Day fashion, they go epic, and they start dancing to Kiss from a Rose from Seal. And it's epic, but it goes up a notch when they reveal that underneath this nice satiny handkerchief thing, scarf, probably better word, is the boss, Sasha Banks. That's right. Sasha Banks doing a lot of things with New Day as of late. I don't know if she's dating one of them. I haven't seen that or read that, but she's been doing a lot with the New Day. There was a video of her riding with Big E on a Segway yelling booty, which was hysterical. It was a Segway or a golf cart yelling booty. It was great. Now she was finally on an episode of Up, Up, Down, Down, the latest episode of Up, Up, Down, Down, Gamer Gauntlet, where they once again play Street Fighter 5 or whatever it was. And it's awesome, and she's great on it. I hope she becomes a staple of that show because she's fantastic. So everything that she's doing and becoming incorporated with the New Day is great. I don't know if that's a precursor to her actually joining New Day, but based on what we got in the Divas action tonight, which I want to talk about next, who knows? All right, so Paige and Sasha are having yet another match. This is their third match in as many shows. This is the one that I thought was going to be a little more epic, and I got to be honest, it didn't really disappoint. There was something about it. Right from the jump, both teams, which I hate, get kicked out of there, which is cool, and we just focus on Paige and Sasha, and they have an unbelievably physical match, just very physical. They go after it. I thought the action that they had was the best of the three matches that we've seen out of them so far. It degenerates down to even a more physical brawl to where Team Bad comes out to get involved, then PCB comes back out, and we got this big, rigmarole where they're just beating up each other, and the match gets thrown out, which is kind of a disappointment. That is until Paige and Sasha continue to go after each other and get into this epic confrontation where it's just, well, there's no balls, but they go balls out here and beat the living hell out of each other and have a fantastic rivalry that is now really building into something much bigger. This has become this. I don't know if you heard that little burplet of mine, but that was pretty cool. Now it's become this situation where we have Charlotte doing her thing with the Bellas, and that's great. But now Paige and Sasha has become that big number 2 rivalry within the Divas division. And that's a really, really good thing. Breaking away from the teams and having them face each other over and over has stopped. And now we have all three teams having different rivalries, but not in any real predictable order. Like, it's not just 3 Team Bad members versus 3 PCB members. You got one rivalry. All 3 groups are involved in 2 separate rivalries, which I think is really good, and it's interesting and it's entertaining. Becky will get her moment next, probably with Naomi. If I had to guess, that would be the best way to go. But this is a lot of fun to watch, and Paige and Sasha could easily be a number 1 contenders match to determine who's next for the Divas title, which, geez, don't even get me started there with all the intrigue that can start. So I actually enjoyed that, even with the no contest, the match getting thrown out. I didn't mind it because Banks slaps the shit out of Paige at one point. She spears the fuck out of Sasha. They tumble out of the ring. They start throwing each other into the barricade. It was really, really epic. I enjoyed it. And the crowd was into it. The last 2 weeks, the SmackDown crowd has been more into SmackDown than I've seen in a very, very long time. The next thing that happened was kind of weird. It was very strange. I wasn't a huge fan of what they did next, at just the idea of it. they showed basically the entire main event from Raw, which is something that I'm usually very judgmental of because I hate when SmackDown becomes a recap or review of Monday Night Raw. I think it's pointless. It doesn't really accomplish much. But I don't know. I kind of enjoyed watching that match again just because I can't get enough of the fucking New Day. So that's okay, which is sick, but I gotta be honest, I enjoyed watching that again. A little bit of a recap, and that was cool. By the way, in the chat right now, people are talking about the big news that was broke by Triple H that Sasha and Bayley at TakeOver, the next TakeOver, I believe in October, they are going to go one more time for now Bayley's NXT Women's Championship in a 30-minute Iron Woman match. Wow. Yes, I have heard about it, and I'm super excited. I think it's going to be great. By the way, a Gothic Zombie 1997 New Day is the PG version of Right to Censor. Obviously, you never watched Right to Censor because you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. That's ridiculous. They're not even anywhere, nothing near the same thing of Right to Censor. It makes no sense. But hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's okay. So, that's okay. Mikaze, that's who Sasha Banks is engaged to. Is that confirmed? Holy crap! Are you serious? I didn't know that. I don't even know who Mikaze is. I just thought he was like an intern or something. I have no idea. Vaughn502, Dave, love the show. I can't wait till I get a job to donate to you and Joe. I appreciate the sentiment. I know Joe does too. Thank you very much for that. Speaking of donations, if you do want to donate to the channel and get your voice heard in a different way and get a little graphic shown up on the screen, you can do that in the description box of this video. Donate. Give the fat man a tip. Say, hey, I enjoy what you do. You can also go over to www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com and pick up the copious gear. And if you do, snap a picture of yourself in that wonderful copious gear and send it to @DeadOnDaveV on Skype. Yes, I'll retweet it. I'll show it here because I want to see people bringing this copious revolution to light. So go ahead and do that. So not only that, you can get like copious mugs. We got all kinds of good stuff there, all designed by Isaac Rojas, a young, talented graphic designer. So go ahead, check his ES out there and pick up some cool stuff. Yeah, I know Mikaze was on Up, Up, Down, Down with her. I know. I mean, but like, I don't know or care who he is. BX Girl HS. Yeah, I know. But it's kind of cool. Oh, okay. Gothic Zombie says the reason why I said they were like them is because they're both amazing heels. Fair enough. Okay. Well, I mean, you could have said any heel faction, Nation of Domination, any heel faction that was an amazing heel faction. But I get what you're trying to say, Gothic Zombie. Good save. Also, all right, go check out the copious gear, but you can also just like and subscribe. That's the easiest thing that you can do. And it's free. Like, subscribe to the channel, and show your support that way. And go ahead and share it around to your peer groups. You know, share it around. Let everybody know exactly who you like. And that's a great way to support the channel. So I very much appreciate that. Let's see here. What else can we do? I forgot where I was. Completely forgot where I was. Because I don't know if you guys have remembered this or not, but I'm horrible at everything I do. All right, so we had that, the recap, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But I don't know, there was something about it where I kind of dug. So we got that. But then Seth Rollins comes out and does an interview. Well, he doesn't come out. It's a backstage interview. And he talks about he's going to use Night of Champions as an opportunity to prove that he's the man. And then Sheamus again comes out and threatens the cash-in, basically. That you're going to have to wrestle 3 matches at SmackDown. So what I want to do right now is, in the chat, I want to hear what you think. Will Sheamus cash in? Will Sheamus cash in on Seth Rollins at Night of Champions? Simple yes or no in the chat right now. Let me know what you think. Yes or no, will Sheamus cash in on Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Let me know. I want to know what you guys have to say. Yes or no? I'd kill myself. I don't want to see it happen. BX Girl HS should have let the Divas brawl for 5 more minutes instead of showing the replay of Raw. That's a fair argument. That's completely fair. I don't think it took too much away, though, because usually when SmackDown does it, it feels like it's just shilling out to Raw. This week it felt like it was just being a support show a little bit in a way, and bringing eyeballs back to a really good main event on Monday Night Raw. So I don't know. I think it's more done, and it's more about execution than it is the actual segment sometimes. And I felt because they showed a good segment, it wasn't so bad. But I don't know. I still much rather have had another match there. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Okay, here we go. The answers are coming in. So, Gothic Zombie, Dave, would you like to see Willow in WWE? Not only a no, but a fuck no, Willow. No, I don't want to see Willow. I wouldn't be completely against seeing Jeff Hardy back in WWE, but I don't care about that Willow character. I've never given a fuck about the Willow character. You can't convince me to care about the Willow character. But at 39, whatever Hardy is, it's a long shot. Maybe I think he's only 37. But it's a long shot. All right, so the answer to the question, should or will Sheamus cash in at Night of Champions? The poll's in. Wrestle Center says, no way. New School Matt says yes after Sting wins. Sting's not winning that match. BX Girl HS says yes. Kumar Jenkins, no. Alex Brown, no. Capone Costello, no. Rick Badboy, he'll never be champion. I believe he's going with hell no, he will never be champion. But hey, I'm here for you. BX Girl HS, no, he won't win. But he won't win. Cappuccino 80, no, hopefully. Kumar Jenkins with a weird guy with a gun to his head. PSA, will Sasha and Bayley 30-minute Iron Man match next month, next takeover? Yes, I know, I already covered that. Thank you, PSA, for the extra little notification. Yes, if you didn't already know, if you came to the show late, as I already said earlier in the show, Triple H has broke the news that Sasha and Bayley will go one more time for the NXT Women's Championship in a 30-minute Iron Man, Iron Woman, Iron Person. Oh, God, I hate the world we live in. I hate the fucking world we live in. Iron Member, Iron Unisex match. An Iron Gender Neutral match. There you go. For the NXT Women's Championship at the next NXT TakeOver. Kumar Jenkins, yes. I guess he's going for a little yes for Sheamus. Dion S, if Sheamus cashes in on 3, I'm pulling out my eyeballs. If you do, send a video, because I could use that. I could definitely get some ratings out of that shit. Gothic Zombie, fair enough. And Rick Badboy, hell no, #fact. Watch out. Get elbow dropped. Don't be stealing. Don't be stealing hashtags now. Not good. Let's get back into the awesomeness that I thought majority of SmackDown really was. So let's go back to where we were. So yeah, we got that. And then, yeah, I was probably my biggest surprise of the night, because as much as I want to say I'm getting tired of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, and to a point I am, something about this mix, having Jimmy Uso, who was just an absolute firecracker of energy and enthusiasm, in there with the New Day, which I just can't get enough of. They came out with no trombone, but didn't take long for Mr. Xavier Woods to become a tromboner once again, and it was great. I love it. I don't care that he's done it a bunch. It doesn't bother me at all. They work well as a team. Oh, God, I got all kinds of stuff coming up from my copious amounts of guts. Oh, my God. But Xavier's really getting a more prominent role wrestling now, too. In fact, he's involved in the finish once again. Not in a favorable way, but hey, it gets the job done. And it was a very entertaining seeing him take a fairly epic Superman punch off of that cool flip that he does. Everything Xavier Woods does is just captivating. That's the thing. Every one of these factions throughout the history of time, there's always one guy who's either the leader during the faction that will later get turned on by somebody up and coming. We saw it at Evolution. We've seen it in other things where that's the case, where the established guy ends up getting turned on by one of the younger members. That's prototypical. We see that all the time. Or it's a faction that is young, that nobody really knows a lot about, that has a breakout member. We kind of see that with the Nation of Domination. But that's Ron Simmons was established, just nobody gave a shit about Farouk. That was a big problem there. And then, of course, Rock becoming that big breakout star. We've seen it over and over as well. This is kind of a hybrid of those two, because you have the established guy in Kofi Kingston who is more akin to Farouk, to where he's been around forever, but nobody really gave too much of a shit about him. And then you had Big E, who's been in for a good amount of time in WWE, and Xavier Woods, who's had the least amount of time at WWE, but has been in developmental for a very long time. So you have this really good mix, but the more time goes by, as good as Big E and Kofi are, and they're fantastic, Xavier is really starting to become the man. I do see he's going to start taking more of a leadership role. I think he's probably going to get the first singles title of the group, since they've been a group. I think he will win a singles championship at some point. I have a feeling the United States title. I don't know why. I feel that way, because once Kevin Owens gets his hands on the Intercontinental belt, ain't nobody taking that away from him. So that's going to be great. So I enjoyed that whole match. I thought it was very well done. Dean Ambrose is Dean Ambrose, which you can't get enough of that. Roman Reigns was kind of held to a minimal amount, but it was bearable, and the crowd was really into him tonight. And that always helps, by the way. When Roman Reigns has fan support, it helps. It helps quite a bit. You don't get lost in the fact how much you get turned off by the guy because he's so fucking annoying at times. So you kind of forget about it. And that's a good thing, because the crowd's into him. So it's a good time. Let's see here. So the end of the match, you get Xavier was about to get defeated by Jimmy Uso. And then the lights go out. Lights come back on. Jimmy is held into the clutches of the Agent of Destruction, the new face of Destruction, Braun Strowman, in a kind of a frightening scene up at the top of the ramp. The way that they shot at the angle, I mean, Uso looked fucked up. He was getting strangled, choked the hell out. Dean and Roman try to make the save, but the lights go out again, and all they find is a broken and beaten Uso on the top of the stage. So another person has learned their lesson not to team with Ambrose and Reigns. So then we get a little voice of Bray Wyatt saying, "They all fall down. I am Bray Wyatt." No, he didn't say that part, but he did say they all fall down. So there you go. So another no contest. I don't have a problem with it, though, because both no contests tonight had a point, had a reason, had purpose, and I'm all about that. As long as they're purpose, I can forgive most things. So, hey, before we keep going into the chat, or keep going into the review, let's go to the chat and see what's going on and what people are talking about. Frank's Liberty, speaking of hating where you live, how are you dealing with the migrant crisis? Well, I got to be completely honest. To this point so far, at least because of where I am in this little town that time kind of forgets, we haven't really noticed too much of the migrant problem. Now, when you travel to other cities, it's a little bit more apparent. But the funny thing is as problematic as this can potentially get, and 5 million people potentially coming into Germany over the next 5 to 10 years is problematic. If there is one country in the entire EU that is best equipped to handle it, it's probably Germany, just because of the way that they have positioned themselves and their location too, because they're always able to ship people out because they're centrally located. They can send a lot of people out to other countries fairly easy. So is there concern with that many people, especially coming from really difficult backgrounds with no job skills or anything like that, yes. And, of course, always potential of some of these people not having the most pure intentions while coming to the country. That's always a concern. But as of now, I just I keep things secure in my house and make sure that I am well protected and my family is. And that's all I could say. Am I living in fear? No, not yet. So I don't know if that's what it is. But there you go. Never Stop Loving says hi. Hi, Never Stop Loving. Kumar Jenkins says hi. I say hi back. Kumar Jenkins, like with Shane Michaels. I don't know what that means, but okay, there you go. I think I know Rick. You remember, blah, blah, blah. All right, nobody else there. Okay, so lots of good conversation going on in the chat, but you guys bowl me. So I'm going back to the copious amounts of notes. After that, after all that stuff with the Wyatts and everything, we get the Ascension with Stardust, the Cosmic Wasteland versus the Lucha Dragons. They didn't really let a lot happen here, but Lucha Dragons get defeated with the fall of man by the Ascension. That's right, the Ascension won a goddamn match. Ugh, holy crap on a cracker. The Ascension won a match. I kind of like, I don't know if we want to call them a full-blown faction yet, but definitely the teaming. I kind of like this. Not because it makes sense, not because it's overly interesting, just because it's once again one of those situations where you're not doing something with a bunch of people, so why not do something with a bunch of people? So you get Stardust and you get the Ascension, you put them together, and hopefully you catch fire with something. And it looks like they're going to be taking on the team of Neville and Lucha Dragons for a little bit of a feud. I kind of like that. I also kind of like the idea of Stardust turning on these guys, kind of like he did with Wade Barrett. But we'll see if that ends up happening. The Ascension getting a win is a good thing because much similar to when Cesaro and Kid got teamed together and everybody was like, what? It ended up working because good matches, good results, interesting things started taking place, and the same could happen with the Ascension. I am not ready to throw in the towel on the Ascension, mainly because I know how talented they are. We've seen how captivating they can be in NXT, so there's no reason to think that with some time, proper booking, and a little bit of forward momentum, that the Ascension can't make a full turnaround and be captivating and important in this tag team division. But only time will tell on that. So that's good times. Never Stop Loving says you should totally sub to Mackie Poo. He rocks. I'm glad somebody brought up Mackie Poo. I love some Mackie Poo, man. I love the kid. He's great. But unfortunately, he's not going to have a fucking channel much longer. Now, here's the thing, Mackie Poo. You can't broadcast an entire show. Now, you're getting away with it now because you have less than 200 subs. This is just a little bit of advice. I'm trying to help you. I could have called you up, but who got time for that? Mackie Poo, don't broadcast entire broadcast of show. Don't show Raw or SmackDown. Don't do it. You're going to get your channel taken away. Okay? You're going to get, the WWE will get your ass. They have flagged Joe. They have flagged and put 6-month bans on many, many YouTubers for a hell of a lot less. And the scary thing is, your video already has over 7,000 hits, and it hasn't gotten hit yet. It doesn't take much. I'm just giving you a friendly warning. Be careful. Other than that, I love you, Mackie Poo, and keep doing what you do. Yeah, so let's see. Anything else in the chat? No, there's not much else in the chat. Okay. Let's keep going with the SmackDown review. So then we get a little bit of Nikki Bella and Charlotte. They chirping back and forth. I still think Charlotte's going to take the belt off of Nikki on Monday, or at least I hope she will, because that's just going to accelerate a whole bunch of really good storylines. The main event, I already talked about it, but I'm going to reiterate it again. I opened the show with the main event, but I loved it yet again. All of the craziness that happened. The match wasn't very long. Ryback and Seth Rollins worked well together. They didn't do anything badly. At least Ryback didn't. Seth Rollins was Seth Rollins. He's always great. But Ryback always has the potential because he's a big guy, a big goof who he can botch at times. he always has the potential to derail a match. Well, he didn't. He carried his weight, hefty as it may be, and he did a good job with Seth Rollins. But the best stuff that happened in this match is what happened outside of the ring with the lumberjacks and all of the intriguing stuff, because you have all of this apocalypse going on outside, and Kevin Owens just standing there. Most of the time with his back to the ring. It was great. He was just, man, fuck you guys. And then he gets involved, and after, when it was his time to get involved, he does that, cost Ryback the match, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really awesome to see Kevin Owens and Ryback. I actually really enjoyed the craziness. I thought it had a well-purposed payoff with Kevin Owens. Look, Ryback and Seth Rollins, it's okay that it's just a vehicle sometimes. It was just a vehicle to get us further into the Ryback-Kevin Owens feud. And Ryback-Seth Rollins, nobody cares about that, which is kind of funny because they're going to care more about Kevin Owens and Ryback. Seth Rollins and Ryback, not as much. But now we have even more reason to care about this rivalry. So it's going to be great. I'm very much looking forward to it. And it's always a good thing when you have your other champions feuding with the main champion, because it just kind of makes it seem like it's a bigger thing. So there you go. There you go. So I was very, very impressed with SmackDown overall. So now I think it's time in the show where you guys give me your ratings for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and throw mine out there. I feel the Raw recap did take a lot away. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty damn good SmackDown. Second week in a row where I was very impressed with a lot of the smart decisions and fairly good matches within SmackDown. So I did enjoy it, so I give it a 7. What do you guys think? I want to know your rating right now in the chat. Let me know what you think of SmackDown this week. Yeah, we are going to continue to do live reviews. That's not going to stop. We will do our things and continue on, even with going against the NFL. I don't care. I'm going to continue to do it, you guys, showing that you're going to watch if you want to watch, so that's good enough for me. As long as there's more than a person willing to watch, then I'm a happy guy. So let's get into the ratings. P.S. Abel, 6 out of 10. Trendy Troy BB, 8 out of 10. Oh, Dion S. I feel like Troy is trolling me. I don't know why. Dion S. 6 out of 10. Wrestle Center, 7.5. Kumar Jenkins, I didn't watch. Well, don't fucking put in the guy. Don't say something funny, Kumar. Don't do that. I don't want to give a fuck. With 3 exclamation points. He really wanted you to know that he didn't watch. Don't be so fucking pretend. 3 exclamation points. 1 exclamation point would have done, and it certainly didn't need to be on capitals. Jesus Christ. Rick Badboy, 6 out of 10. Adrian Brown, ditto, 7 out of 10, agreeing with me. D to TS Hoff, 10 out of 10. That's a troll. That's troll job. Gotta be. Now, I'm not calling you a troll. I'm calling your rating a troll. You're trying to get a reaction. There's no way you could think it was 10. Well, I guess there is a way you could think it's 10 out of 10. You can think whatever the hell you want. You can think it's 1 out of 10. You can think it's magical fairy dust pooping on an alligator. Out of 10. Wouldn't matter to me. Cappuccino 80. I missed it. Gotta watch it after the cast. Okay. Oh, the podcast? You're going to watch it after me? I kind of like that. BX Girl HS says, 7 out of 10. Sasha versus Paige made it a great show. I agree. It really did help. PS Abel, go Patriots. Okay. BX Girl HS Steelers. Okay. Vaughn 502, 6.5 out of 10. Trendy Troy. Yeah, you're right. I forgot to watch. I knew you did, you motherfucker. I knew my Troy boyfriend. I did. Kumar Jenkins, I was just being honest. I'm just giving you shit, Kumar. I'm just playing with you. Don't be mad at me. Don't go to White Castles either. It's okay. The TS Hoff, joking. Yeah, that was a troll. 7 out of 10. Okay, fair enough. I will forgive this transgression this one time. I hope you guys are enjoying the good little review here, and if you do, go ahead and like the video. Likes are free. You can go ahead and also subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 1,350 subs. You guys are awesome. So go ahead and do that as well. Other than that, you can also go check out some copious gear, buy some copious gear, keep the economic machine going, or you can simply go into the description box below and donate to the channel if you want to give the fat man a tip. Last call for viewer calls. That's right. Last time tonight you get a chance to call in. If anyone wants to call in, I will take your calls right this second on Skype. David Vancura, DavidVancura, and you can talk about whatever you want in the realm of wrestling or anything else. Let's go into some news and see if there's anything else to talk about. I think probably the biggest thing is, once again, to talk about Triple H making the announcement that a 30-minute Iron gender-neutral match between Sasha Banks and Bayley for NXT TakeOver in October has been announced. That should be very exciting. I also think it's kind of telling that they're going to let the other women in NXT, with these new people that are coming in, with some of the developing characters, and then some, even with Carmella and Emma, who are arguably two of the bigger personalities and most well-rounded wrestlers that they have down there. They're kind of going to let them all simmer together and do their thing, probably because of the announcement of Kana coming up. I think they want to give more time, which is a big thing. Look, if they had full belief that Eva Marie was going to be ready anytime soon, they probably wouldn't be doing this. But because neither Dana Brooke nor Eva Marie is probably going to be ready this year, and I'm being generous with this year, you make moves like this, and you have another great match between Bayley and Sasha. 30-minute Iron gender-neutral match. Make sure that you guys watch that. If you haven't watched the match they had at the last NXT TakeOver, slap yourself with a wet fish and then go watch the goddamn match, because it was awesome. Another little bit of news. There was apparently, and this is from WrestlingInc.com, there was a little bit of a meeting called for all the NXT talents, where the brass, I'm assuming Triple H, kind of let them know about bonus pay and how they're really not going to be getting any. And that's mainly because, here's something you may not know, NXT, since it's been on television and doing all things because it's a network show and all this, they've actually been operating at a loss. A lot of the bigger NXT guys are making plenty of money and good money, and I'm sure almost everybody in NXT, even the lower guys, are making more than they would on the indie scene. But they're not getting big bonus money right now because simply NXT cannot afford it. The bigger NXT gets, I have a feeling those numbers are going to start going up now, because they had to have making good money at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. The merchandise sales are going up. NXT is starting to become a bigger entity. So I have a feeling that this is only a now type situation. It's going to start improving the financials for NXT. But they have been operating at a loss since their beginning. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting stuff, but not really. So the one final little bit of news there. One final news. Kurt Angle. Not only has Kurt Angle said that he will not be re-signing with TNA at the end of the year when his contract expires, but he's not going to sign with anybody. He's going to take some time away from wrestling and then probably regroup for one more final run, even though he said this was going to be his final run. Whatever. Do I want to hear Kurt's theme one more time in WWE? Yeah, I do. I really hope he ends up going to NXT and help training the next generation, because him in his 50s doing that would be just awesome. And let's face it, he's got a lot to give. But it'll be interesting. We'll see what he decides to do. And he's going to have one more match or a couple more matches in TNA, presuming that they go on past this month, which they're going to have their pay-per-view after this month, but we don't know where they're going to be. So other than that, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed SmackDown. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like, subscribe, and share, mofos. Like, subscribe, and share. Do your thing. And make sure you check out all the weekend shows that are coming up with not only here, but in the community. Yes, tomorrow we got Touch 'em All, the weekly baseball show with myself and Jeff the Huff Huffman right here. That'll be up sometime tomorrow. That's not a live show. It's recorded, so it'll be up whenever it's up. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be a great one. I got a lot to talk about in the world of baseball. Then, of course, Saturday, Dead on Dave Live, the weekly show where I take all of your calls. You guys call in, tell me whatever you want to talk about, and we bullshit. And I wrap up all the main news from wrestling, sports, life. Sometimes I argue with my wife. It's just a good time. Make sure you're there. That is, what time do I want that to be? 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. That's right, Saturday, hoity-toity. Make sure you check that out. Then on Sunday morning, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can join Dead on Dave for your football, not that football, NFL, American football pre-game show. Yay. So make sure you check that out with my new co-host for the NFL show, Jim Peterson, my Nerd and the Jerk co-host. Who knows when that show's going to come back, but Jim Peterson will be live with me 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll take your calls. We're going to review everything going on in the NFL. We'll talk about this game tonight. We'll talk about all the games that's going to happen. We'll give you predictions. It'll be a fun time, so make sure you join us there. P.S. Abel asks, when is monetized this? And that will be Friday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as far as I know. Kumar Jenkins, can you wrap it up? I'm tired. Wrap this up and put it under your fucking Christmas tree. Don't tell me to wrap. You know what? Now I'm going to just sit here. I'm going to sit here. And I'm going to daydream for 3.5 minutes. And you can watch me. Because now you've angered me. Dead on Dave. So. Yeah, that's a good daydream. That's a good day. That's a good fucking daydream. That wasn't 3.5 minutes, but I couldn't daydream that long. I will wrap it up, but not because you told me to, motherfucker. Not because you told me to. Because I choose to. Because it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I want to get a little bit of sleep. Hit that falsetto, motherfucker. Got nothing on this. Dead on Dave ain't nothing to fuck with. Dead on Dave ain't nothing to fuck with. All right, that's all I got. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, all of that good stuff. And we will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Okay, here we go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walked the bridge and we built it. 2 hoes got the boy on kill clip. My team good and we rollin'. It ain't really hard to see that I'm fresher. I'm a F5 with Brock Lesnar. We ain't got time to listen. Yo, lecture, let him put the title up and I get your bitch. Ask me, we ain't never made up. When the times got rough, we ain't never gave up. Boy, you next to the one like Morpheus. So the NLO can't fuck with us. That's real talk in this purple rain. Know some real dudes that'll bring the pain. Stay fresh, rock shades like Johnny Cage. So they got a bad bitch, don't sew on your blade. You ain't put in work, we can ask your girl. Mad cause she said I'm the best in the world. When it comes to the game, they honor me. I destroy your league, Sean Connery. That's a mirror picture what I'm clone like. Team on like a hard light. Love bad girls that's all night. With a gang of weed and we all right. Found my inner Himoli. We don't run from victory. Keep pouring off that Smirnoff. I've been a boss like Tommy C. We work hard, ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise, better analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they call it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. We work hard, ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise, better analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they call it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. Okay, stop.